Hello everyone. In today's session, we will be dealing with the new topic, that is human resource planning. Already we have discussed the introduction part of human resource management in our previous sessions. So we actually know that what human resource management is. Now we will be dealing with another concept, another topic, that is HRP, that means human resource planning. So talking about the learning objectives, here we will be dealing with the manpower inventory that are available in the organization, how we need to deal them, how we need to manage them, that we will be discussing. Also, we'll be discussing the whole process of human resource planning. And apart from that, we will also be discussing the concept of job analysis, that is very, very important while preparing the job descriptions and job specifications for the recruitment process. So coming to the definitions of HRP, here we can see several definitions that are mentioned in the slide. Two definitions we can see. First is given by DeSanjo and Robbins, and the second definition is given by E.W. Vetter. Uh, if we talk about the conclusion of all the two definitions that are mentioned in the slide, it can be said that manpower planning is a process of placing right number and kind of people at the right place at the right time, and the people doing the right kind of job which is necessary for the attainment of the objective of the organization. In very short, we can say, if we talk about human resource planning, what is HRP? It means planning of human resources. Now, if we talk about planning of human resources, that means what? We are trying to place the right number of people at right place and at right time. At right place means we are trying to identify that which personnel will be fit for this particular job and at what time he needs to be recruited in the organization for the successful attainment of the objective of the organization. So this is HRP. Talking about the objectives of HRP, whatever human resources we have in our organization, we need to make their optimum use. Okay, because if we are not optimizing if we are not making the maximum use of the human resource currently employed in an organization, again, that is a kind of we are wasting our resources in the organization. So we must ensure that we can maximum optimize the human resources in the organization. Okay, next is the to forecast the right number of human resource required in future for the accomplishment of the objective. Okay, through HRP we just try to forecast that what number of manpower is actually required to perform the activities in the organization. Okay, and we identify the number of resources, and after that we can go for the recruitment process. Next is to avoid imbalances between the allocation and distribution of human resource. Through HRP, we try to avoid the kind of imbalance that generally happens between the allocation and distribution of human resources. What number of manpower we are going to hire and what responsibilities is to be assigned to which human resource, that is properly discussed in human resource planning, and accordingly the next process, that is recruitment, takes place. Next, assess surplus or shortage, if any, of human resources available over a specified period of time. Through HRP, we can just come to know that whether our organization have surplus number of employees or we are less number of employees with us. In case we have surplus employees, we will go for some actions over there, and if we have shortest number of employees, we will go for some other actions there. And the last objective of HRP is we need to have a control on the human resources that are currently available in the organization. Means their activity needs to be controlled, and their efforts should be utilized in right direction in a right manner to attain, so that we can attain the objective of our organization. Importance of HRP. While we are discussing the concept of HRP, it is very, very important and relevant for the organization, because in this, the defined objectives, we work for the defined objectives. That is, of our organization, and accordingly we try to create a balance of human resource in our organization. Okay, and accordingly we determine that actually there is a requirement of human resource in our organization or not. Okay, if there is requirement, we go for some actions. If our existing manpower is available and it is able to take the responsibilities of the pending work in our organization, then in some case we can assign that responsibility to our existing manpower, and we can just skip the process of recruitment as well. So that's why we need to develop the competency level of our employees, and we need to identify their capabilities as well, so that we can prepare manpower inventory in the organization accordingly. And whenever and wherever it is required, we can make use of those human resources in our organization. Next is adjusting demand and supply. There must be proper adjustment of demand and supply, because in case any problem may occur, or in case organization is facing less number of scarcity of employees in the organization, so somewhere that may affect the productivity of the organization as well. Or in case there is surplus number of employees, there may be a kind of financial burden on the organization. So there must be a kind of adjustment in demand and supply of manpower. And the last one, it tends to create a proper work environment in the organization by adjusting or by creating balance between the manpower that are available in the organization. Process of HRP, if we talk about, we can see the diagram in our on our screen, where first of all we need to frame the organizational objectives and plans, and aligned to the organizational objectives, we need to plan the manpower, that whether actually it is required or not. So again, when we are going to plan the manpower, we will go for two processes. On one hand, we will be forecasting the manpower requirement, means what number of manpower is actually required in our organization. On the other hand, we will be trying to identify or preparing the manpower inventory. Means if the manpower is available in our organization, and by improving their skills, by improving their capabilities, we can utilize that manpower for further activities, for other activities in the organization, our problem may be solved. Okay, so for that, we need not hire any other personnel for our organization. So again, we need to prepare such kind of manpower inventory, so that in future we can use wherever and whenever it is required. Now, through these processes, we can identify the gap, manpower gap, that actually there is surplus manpower or there is shortage of manpower in the organization. And in both the cases, that is surplus or shortage, we will move towards action plans through which we can bridge the gap. Now, in surplus manpower, if in our organization we have surplus manpower, then we need to remove them. Excess number of employees must be removed from the organization, because they are creating a kind of financial burden on the organization. So we'll go for the retrenchment process, although it is not justified if we talk from the in the context of human resource management, because we are there to take care of the human resource, not to retrench them. So we can just go for some other option. But if we are not left with any other option, then we will have to go for the retrenchment process as well. And in case we have shortage of manpower, definitely we will go for recruitment process. We will go for hiring of the candidates in our organization. Now, before hiring, we need to prepare the job description and job specification for the advertisement purpose. So we will be discussing the job analysis concept. And if we talk about the job analysis, it may be defined as the detailed and systematic study of jobs to know the nature and characteristics of people for each job. Definitions are given by Edwin B. Flippo and Shubin, in which they are trying to explain that if we talk about job analysis, basically it is the process of collecting and gathering information regarding that particular job. Uh, some facts about job analysis is mentioned, in which duties and tasks, environment, tools and equipments on which the employee needs to work, relationship and the requirements. What are the basic requirements? What are the skills required? What are the qualifications required and abilities required? Each and everything will be discussed under job analysis. So for that purpose, the information needs to be collected and gathered from various sources in the organization. Now, from where we can collect data for job analysis. So some of the sources we can see here on our screen, in which the first one is company records, interviews with the workers who are working currently in the organization, or we can interview the supervisors, subordinates, and from there we can collect the information. Now, again, the next source would be observation. We can observe the workers who are performing their activity in the job, and through observation method, we can also collect and gather data for job analysis. Next is we can prepare some questions, and it can be answered from the side of the workers, and from there also we can collect data. Or if some workers are interested in writing their diaries, sharing the information through their diaries, then we can also collect data from there. And the one more source is there, that if we get the recordings of the activities in the organization, then from there as well we can collect the information that is required for job analysis. Two types of job analysis can be seen. One is job description and another one is job specification. Now, description. In very short, if we talk about job description, it is a part of job analysis. And in this aspect, in the aspect of job description, basically we talk about the job content. And if we are talking about the content, we are talking about the duties, roles, responsibilities that one need to perform while being in that specific job. So before the detailed advertisement of the job description should be prepared in a well-mannered way. And if we talk about the several contents of job description, means what should be mentioned in job description, we can have a look at that. Job title should be there. That should be very short, definite, and suggestive of the nature of the job. Job location, that means the name of the department where the job under consideration exists, and that needs to be mentioned in the job description part. Next is job summary, in which a short paragraph summarizing the task to be performed by the employee who will be joining the job will be mentioned. Nature of supervision. There are certain jobs which require more supervision, particularly unskilled jobs, while other jobs needs less supervision. So it should be mentioned very clearly in the job description part that what kind of supervision that jobs require, and the thing should be very clear that who is going to report to who. Now, machines and tools to be used. Several kind of tools and machines or equipments will be used while performing the job in case of some of the jobs. So that also needs to be included in job description part. And the next is working condition. In what working condition and worker is going to work, what will be the characteristics of the physical surroundings, each and everything should be mentioned in the description part. Also, the relation to other jobs need to be mentioned. That will be discussing the clear-cut relation of the job with other jobs, and that should be mentioned to understand the nature of the job. Means that the job needs relation to the other jobs. Now, coming to the job specification part, here we have talked about description part, in which there will be detailed information regarding the job, about job title, job location, what tasks and responsibilities you need to perform, what kind of machines or tools on which you are going to work. All these informations will be there. Now, based on the responsibilities that is assigned, what kind of requirement that an organization have with the employee, that needs to be decided. So when we talk about job specification, basically it is minimum acceptable human qualifications that is required to perform a job. That is known as job specification, and it is also known as employee specification, as it is a written statement of educational qualifications, specific qualities, level of experience, uh, communication skills, It may also include general health, mental health, intelligence, aptitude, memory, judgment, leadership skills, emotional ability, creativity, etc., etc. Talking about the contents of job specification, we can include all these things in description specification part. That will be qualifications, what qualification we require, what kind of experience we require, training, skills, responsibilities, and any of the emotional characteristics, if it is required in the job, will be needs to be mentioned in the specification part. So this is the job specification, and both the aspects, that is job description and specification, is very very important if we are trying to hire personnel for our organization. So it needs to be very effective, it needs to be properly justified.